Hello, speculators and AI developers and everybody who loves trading and enhancing it with the computer power. Today, I'd like to show a little experiment with LangChain. And let me first describe what LangChain is. So basically, the previous version of our chat was just a simple question answer where we just type something and send it to the system, and system just finds an answer for us. Now, the LangChain is a bit different than it says in the name that it's got a chain of agents, and those agents are particular work, and then master and or the supervisor agent is deciding how to use that information in order to generate the final answer. Right, so I'm going to be showing a few different agents and perhaps explaining little tricks with them, and also I'm going to do the demo of a running system along with the trading comments. Right, so here is the table with different elements. So what we have added here is now the first column here for 1 minute is the delta of the price change for the last minute, and a delta of average volatility in percent. The same is for 5 minutes and so on and so forth. So you can sort it here and you can see that like mix is just the most coin in like the last 15 minutes, and it moved 18%. Later, we will be looking at the graphs and so on and so forth. So that's those, but the matter of the demo is a different one. So here we've got our new updated agent, which has a different capacities. Let's say I'm going to display that. So now we've got 5 minutes here. And if I ask it to suggest a strategy for now. So now it is using 5 minutes candles in the background and doing particular tasks with them. So I'm going to be showing you the results in briefly. Now, so what we've got here is just, this is summarization from supervisor agent, right? So it says like there is a neutral sentiment, rising RSI and bullish market and so on and so forth. Entering a long position, so it says like it won't be bought if we enter long. The interesting part is here is a thought trace. So because the agent was using different sub agents in order to take a decision and give us this answer. So it was checking first sentiment analysis. You see here, stock market sentiment analysis, look back 70 hours and didn't find anything, no news for this meme coin perhaps. And then found, well, sentiment score of all 5 of them is nothing, and RSI is something. And then here we see this RSI is 65.78, which is close to upper limit, I believe. I'll be showing code later, but let's find some different coin which could be in use. For example, Solana. Let's select one here. So now suggest FJ for now. How risky it is to long. Let's ask that. So this is the way I'm working. So basically what I'm doing myself is just on eating my dog's food because I want to see how it works, and I take particular decisions when I trade. So here what we've got is, what is it? The strategy. Yeah, use a neutral RSI and neutral market. Yeah, you see, that's the one. So it says like, don't really do anything for now. Wait until trade establishes and then we do something with it. Right now, little different tweaks here. So here you can see that initialize a tool list here where we supply symbol and interval, and then we create a crypto agent. Crypto agent is here. The thing is that crypto agent is pulling candles, and because we don't want to pull candles all the time for every agent, so we just pull it once and then use it later in other agents. Like now, what we've got here is a little trick here is if we put market analysis tool on the top, because this is a more general agent, he could decide not to use RSI or sentiment tool and will be using just itself, right? And then the data could be incomplete. So what I'm trying to say here, that the order matters. So to make sure RSI is going to be going and sentiment is going to be going, then I'll put them on the top in the list. Now, RSI here. What is interesting here is it is taking candles from ancient here and then just doing mathematical calculations about oversold, overbought, and so on. And also what it does is it's trying to find, do we have a divergence or convergence? And this is also important when price goes up and up and up, but you can see on the other side that it goes down. That means like price is diverging, and that could potentially mean that the asset is overbought and correction is going to follow. The same thing works vice versa. When your RSI starts rising but the price keeps falling, then you've got oversold condition and could take appropriate decisions in that regard. Now, interesting part here is sentiment analysis tool. So what we've got here is just, we've got like common Google RSS URL, and we just supply particular query to it and find for the news. And we find something, then we use it in our trading analysis. So for example, if something has fallen dramatically and it's all over the place in the news, then we could just use that information to take a decisions ourselves. Now, if we see here, yeah, so it says like 51, doesn't know what to do. And also, I'd like to explain a bit about volatility tool, which is also quite useful in my estimation. Say we saw it here and we've got like 15 minutes and it was jumping up and down 4 or 5%, let's say. And if we got here in the minutes, hang on, what we've got here, 15 minutes, right? 15 minutes. So I'd say a bit slow anyway. So you can see that if you are trying to gain 1 2%, so 5% volatility is more than enough. And in the table, you can see straight away that volatility allows you to do so. Here, we can see in real time that some coins are better for trading than others. So let's have a look at that one there. 5 minutes, like 4%, why? 5 minutes. And you can see here 2.5, but if we go through top to bottom, you see the 4.5%. So what that means is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 5 candles, we could get a bit of money, right? So if we know where the top and where the bottom, we can see the rough volatility. Also, you can see volatility numbers through the row here. And what it means is it's a mean volatility in terms of 15 minutes periods. So what we do basically, we take something like 370 minutes altogether and then just cut them in chunks and then measure volatility along all of them and then just get mean of it. And this is giving us understanding. This is quite handy because, for example, that one there, AGT got up 25% in the last hour, because this column here, delta percent, means percentage of a price movement. So for example, if we go back, so you see -7% for broccoli. Let's check here. So you see it dropped significantly. I'm not sure much, like 30%, but last way over there, yeah, you can see 35%, right? So it's quite handy because here you can see straight away which is rising and which is dropping. And because as a speculator, we are not looking for, something stable. We are looking in the opposite direction. We have to find something which is volatile as hell, and that's why we're making money. That's why we take decisions to get in and start trading. Well, we've got here 25% aged. We've seen it, right? So home. Oh, this is quite high, isn't it? 4%. 4%, 1.5. Let's have a look at home. It's like quite volatile for 15 minutes. That's about it for now. Later, what we are going to do next is I desperately need it, or what I want is I want automatic LLM risk assessment. So in order to have positions in different directions, I'd like to know which one is more favorable in terms of making money. So let's say like that one's got delta 9% between long and short. And if price, for example, goes up a lot, then I'd like LLM to show me the information about what to do with this, and also to set it up in a way that it will work only when price moves. So that means here in the platform, we've got this like alert about current positions and stuff, but also I'm going to be adding this LLM analytics about the position itself. So it's going to consume deposit amount, the position itself, and the risks involved in this trading thing, right? Also, the next plan is to the long graph, because current chat system is working on a long chain where we've got just chain of agents. Now long graph is much more interesting. We could have multi agents, and each of which would have own decision making process and sub agents and so on and so forth. So that's going to be the further research. So plenty of interesting things are coming. And also, we'll see trading statistics, how this system is helping trade me myself, and some, I don't know, others who's going to trade with it. But let's see how it goes. And the journey is promising to be interesting.